Welcome everyone to Your Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time.
None of that affects how you are going to change the world.
That's right.
No, it does not take one person to change the world, but it takes one person to believe in themselves.
Yes.
That they can make a difference.
I love
to
that.
Inspire others.
And that's why, for me, I try to make it my purpose now to try to help other people realize their self-worth.
Yeah.
Because it's so sad that so many of us, we get destroyed based off of what other people have to say.
Yeah.
I would say do it in your own way. Make sure you're doing it on your own accord and take a risk.
Go out there and live your life passionately. Believe in everything that you're doing and believe in the fact that you will accomplish every single goal. Welcome everyone to Your Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to let your light shine. Go out there every single day and just let your love and your compassion and your inner peace of who you are and what you're worth just radiate and illuminate the world. I am your host, LaShawn Walker, and this is my co-host,
Celine Ferdinand.
We'd like to welcome you into another episode. Please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know that we're on right now. I hope you guys out there have had a good day and a wonderful week. It has been a while.
Yes.
Oh my God, Celine, I have been so busy. I haven't been here. Last week, I had to take the day off so that I can take care of a few things at home. You know, I've been very busy, since my loved one had their kidney transplant and all the other people in my life that I've been helping and taking care of. But the blessing is that my loved one is actually home now. And I am so happy about it. But actually, that makes me a lot more busier than I was before.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to?
Well, I've been up to a lot recently, and I've also had I've participated in the New York Fashion Week, and I modeled for a designer called Mark DeFang, and it was really just a great experience because I got to make so many new friends, and also it was a great modeling experience too, as I got to walk in an outfit, and you also came to support me, which was fantastic, and I'm so grateful that you were there.
Oh, thank you. It was amazing, actually.
Yeah.
We have a few pictures of you just stomping that runway, my friend. It was amazing. I sat front row with your mom. That's not your mom, actually. That's the young lady who brought her dog to the event, but it was so cool. The women and the young girls that were represented that day were truly phenomenal.
Yes.
And I love this particular designer, Mark DeFang. All of the clothes that I saw come out that curtain were amazing, and you did so fabulous. You really, really did. You looked so focused. What were you thinking about when you hit the end of that runway?
Well, I was thinking about just being me, and I was really thinking just do my best, work the runway right there, because I knew my mom was gonna get me Starbucks after, and Starbucks is a great motivation for me.
Oh my God, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
We had Starbucks right after. That is so funny. You sit up there waiting. I'm posing, I'm thinking, I'm happy. I'm about to have me a latte. That's amazing. No, it was really great being there and to see just the many diverse people that were highlighted that day as well. They had a young lady who I believe was a paraplegic, and she walked the runway like she had all of her limbs, and I really, really was impressed with it, and I'm so glad that you were able to be a part of it. So I know school is closed for you guys this week, right? How is that? You're enjoying your time off?
Yes, I'm enjoying it a lot. Actually, today I've been able to go to Girl Scouts with my fellow Girl Scout sisters to the Nassau County Courthouse, and we got a tour, and we got to learn about the different parts of it. And so our tour guide had took us all around the courthouse. We got to go to a like one of the courtrooms, and we watched a video about all the different like roles that are playing in the courthouse. And then we went to a courtroom where a conference was going on. And so basically it's like a pre-conference for like the court session that's going to happen next month. And it was really an interesting experience, and I think like probably my most like favorite part of the tour is when we went into the basement and we got a tour of the 2 prison cells, and then I got to take a picture, like I was sort of like a prisoner. They didn't lock us in there though. And then we took a group picture too, and we also got to take a group picture with the judge, and we also got to learn a little bit about the juvie and stuff.
Right, the juvenile?
Yeah.
Okay. What, jury? You mean
Jury-
jury
oh,
duty?
yeah.
Jury
Jury
duty.
duty.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is so interesting. I love the Girl Scouts
Yes.
and the different types of educational field trips that they actually take you on, because that I think is good to know, to see how a courtroom and a courthouse runs, but also to see the jail, which you were so fascinated with, but to see what can happen to you if you don't do what you're supposed to do, my friend. You know what I mean? But I think that is so cool. You spent how many hours there?
I'm not sure, but I think like about like 3
That's
hours.
good. Now, did it inspire you at all to maybe, one day become like a lawyer or a judge or anything like that?
A little bit. I feel like if I were to go into like law, I'd either be like a lawyer or a judge.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's amazing. Well, I'm glad that you were able to enjoy not only your time off, because sometimes kids are just home, and they're watching video games or waiting for their parents to come home. So they're not doing anything educational, anything that can sort of help them in the future, or anything that just gives them a little time to have some fun and experience life outside and how other people go to work and what they do in their job. So I think that is so cool. Anything else planned for the rest of this week, or?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to a hockey game with my Girl Scouts, with my Girl Scout troop and other Girl Scout sisters. And I think it's gonna be super fun. And that the following day on Thursday we're going to the Girl Scout building for an activity.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, nice. They keep you busy during your spring break. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, at least you were able to let your light shine this whole entire time. Like you said, you had the runway show that you did, which I know was amazing. And I know that you do a lot of other things in your community. How do you keep up that energy? How do you keep that light shining all the time? Is it easy?
It's not easy, but you just have to keep that good mentality and to always know that no one's stopping you, and no matter what others say and no matter how much they put you down, you always got to get back up and push forward.
I hear that, girl. Well, that's exactly a great transition to what I've been experiencing for the past couple of weeks, or actually like a month and a half, because I was caring for my mother, my aunt, which is my mother's sister, who lives in Jersey, and I finally kind of got that situation, under control, but she is in need of assistance again. And then, my loved one, I was running back and forth to the hospital, and though they're home now, it's still to me more duties, more responsibility. My whole routine and my plans have just been out the window because of the fact that I'm caring for others. And I don't mind, but it's just the fact that it did dim me a little bit. I wasn't going anywhere. I didn't get a chance to celebrate my birthday like I usually do every year. So it was kind of hard. So I was just questioning how, you stay on and you stay lit, as they say, when so much is going on.
Yeah.
But I did finally, thank God, have an opportunity this past weekend to finally celebrate me, celebrate my birthday, and get to spend some time with my sisters, my friends, and get back out into the community, because I wasn't able to do that for quite some time. And I think it depressed me a little bit. I'm used to being out and meeting people and constantly being kind and just
Yeah.
wanting to be of service in some way. And I felt I was doing it, but it was more isolated. And it kind of just really took the light out of me. So I am back. I am excited. And this past weekend, yes, was with you at the runway. That's you and me and your mom. And then my girlfriend took me to an amazing comedy show in the city. And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. And I needed it so very much. It was so cathartic. It took away anything that was going on inside of me. It kind of took it away, and I was able to release. And then we had Galentine's Day with this young lady that I had on the show, my now new best friend, Miss Nisi. We had Galentine's Day in the Bronx. We went to a beautiful restaurant out there. And then on Sunday, the next day, was the Harriet Tubman herself show in Long Beach, Long Island, which is also a friend and guest of the show, Miss Christine Dixon. She performed and she was amazing. I'm trying to get this girl in your school or the high school so that they can see this amazing performance. She put on the Harriet Tubman herself. It was so educational. It was interactive. She sings beautifully, and I learned so much. I've heard of Harriet Tubman growing up, you know, obviously with the history books and things, but she delves into this woman's just whole life, and I loved every minute of it. So this past weekend, I finally was able to shine that light within me again, and it felt really, really good. And I advise everybody out there, you know, in those times of darkness or those times that you get busy or those times where, you know, you just don't feel like doing too much because, you know, you just are overwhelmed with all of the other priorities that you have in your life, to please take some time for yourself. It really is important. It really, really is. And I'm going to tell you, it will make a world of difference too in your attitude. I showed up today in yellow. It's cold outside. I just wanted everybody to see, you know, just how happy and how much full of sunshine I am.
You're bright and shining.
Thank you. After this amazing weekend that I had to just focus on me as well as people loving on me. And it really, really was needed. So, well, you know, we're going to talk about what it is to have your light shine. We're going to talk about it with this amazing woman that you happen to introduce me to, because you are the co-host of the youth edition of the Your Unity Show. So I understand you met this amazing young lady. Her name is Imani Lyons, and apparently she's a producer, she's a writer, she's a director, she's all these amazing things. Tell me a little about how you met her.
Well, today would be my first time meeting her because I didn't get to go to the show. But I've heard a lot about her through my mom, and I've been able to learn that she is a writer, and also that she's a really amazing person throughout the play, and creative too.
Yes, well, that's what we're going to talk about, how amazing this young lady is. So we're going to begin. Her name is Imani Lyons, and the title of the show is Let Your Light Shine. Imani is a 16-year-old junior from Elmont, New York, who excels both academically and in extracurricular activities. At Elmont Memorial High School, she's a distinguished member of the Model United Nations debate team and conducts research on Parkinson's disease as part of her involvement in science research. With a perfect 4.0 GPA, she's a member of various honor societies, including Senior Honor Society, English Honor Society, World Language Honor Society, and Social Studies Honor Society. Beyond academics, she serves as an officer in the Key Club, contributes over 100 hours of community service, and participates in student government, Big Brother Sister Club, Saga Club, Drama Club, and the Female Empowerment Club. Imani's achievements include recognition in Model UN conferences, distinguished academic performance, consistent placement on the high honor roll, and receiving the Model Citizen Award. Recently, she wrote, produced, and directed her school's Black History Month play. Outside of school, she tutors younger students in various subjects. Her passion for neurology drives her ambition to become a neurosurgeon, with plans to pursue an education at Columbia, NYU, or Johns Hopkins University. Here to talk with us about what it is to let your light shine, please welcome Miss Imani Lyons. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
It is so wonderful to have you here.
You too.
So how was your day? I'm hearing everyone is out of school. I understand you was at Columbia yesterday. So how is your time off school
Yes, my time from school, I am still at school 8 to 10 a.m. I'm in the lab doing my research, but yesterday I had the wonderful opportunity to go to Columbia University, one of the top schools that I want to go to pursue my career. It was really fun. I have met my friend there. I've seen the dorms. I've talked to our tour guide. It was just an amazing experience.
Oh, I'm so glad you were able to do that. And of course, you know, pursuing what your ultimate goal and your dream is, you took advantage of it. You did not wait for them to invite you. You just decided you were going to go. And you were there pretty late, right?
Yes, I was.
Wow, that is so cool. Well, here at the Our Unity show, we're nosy. We want to know a lot about you. So we want to begin. What do we usually ask them, Celine?
Well, about yourself and like, how did you get started with like play and like writing too?
So, as said before, my name is Imani Lyons. I am a junior at Elmont Memorial High School. For writing, I always had a passion for writing. I used to, in my spare time, I read a lot of books, and when I was younger, I liked to spin off what I read, make a different ending, and from there, I have just been writing. I recently went to CIEE program under a scholarship. I went to London for a writing program as well. It was an amazing experience.
Oh, wow.
I just overly enjoy reading and writing. I like to spin off anything that I read. I like to take conversations that I hear and write it as a writing prompt, and I'll like write on my phone. It was just, screenwriting was something that I truly wanted to do, but now it's a hobby that I would like to pursue now that I'm going to the medical field.
That's amazing. So, I mean, that had to come from somewhere. I usually, because I'm that nosy, I want to know about your childhood. You're still a young woman, but yeah, like, where did that come from? Like, as you were growing up, like, what did you desire to be, or what were you kind of immersed in that made that be part of who you are?
So when I was younger, I really wanted to be a journalist. I liked writing. I liked reading since young. I've been put into books. It doesn't matter what. It would be the Harry Potter series, Percy Jackson. Anything I can get my hands on, I will read. And I never really picked up writing until quarantine. I really had nothing to do. And because I continued to read the books, I was like, you know, I'm bored, I might as well start writing. And when my mom see my writing, she was like, you know, that's really good writing. And after like my mom gave me that motivation to write, I'll just continue to write. And from there, I just realized maybe that writing is something that I really want to do when I grow up.
I love that. How was your experience in school, like junior high school and
Junior high school,
elementary?
unfortunately, at least for me, quarantine hit me when I was in 7th grade, so I did not experience my middle school. But for elementary school, it was, as an elementary experience, I had a lot of friends, I was very social, but quarantine definitely took that social inability of me, so that's when I started to write more. But when I came back to high school, it was a little difficult transition because I wasn't in the high school, since my school goes to 7th grade to 12th grade.
Right.
It was a very difficult, it wasn't a difficult transition, but it was something that I was not unfamiliar with. So it was kind of isolation, and that also driven me to write more. But when I became a bit more social throughout coming up from years, it was fine.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Do you feel like you missed anything? I mean, knowing that you kind of transitioned well, do you feel like you missed anything during that junior high school time being, you know, under lockdown?
I mean, there was some definitely things like our dance, like the little things that I missed out on, but it all, I feel like, you know, God has a plan. It all come together. It's really fine. I'm enjoying my high school years. I am not so sad to leave, but it's coming to an end, and I'm finally coming to terms with that.
I love that. I love that. And just ready to keep it moving, right? Oh my God. So during, the pandemic, what did you learn from that? I mean, now that you're in high school, I want to say we're free, but we're not necessarily free from anything that could possibly happen again, But what have you learned, from that experience?
Isolation is not the best thing. It will take away your ability to speak. It will take away your ability to pursue things that you want, or maybe it can amplify it in other situations. But at least for me, isolation is something that I don't enjoy. I really like enjoying people's company, and because of quarantine and the pandemic, I didn't really have that opportunity, and I really missed out on maybe friend groups or just friends. But I've taken that and as a learning lesson, and to realize that, being around people who want to support you, or just being around people who just full of love, it's just like an amazing experience that I would like to have.
Yes. Isn't that amazing? You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, like, throughout the pandemic, like, we were very isolated and from everyone else, but were you able to make any connections or be able to interact with anyone through your writing and, like, your passions?
Definitely. I took full advantage of my writing when I was in quarantine. I did make a couple friends actually online. I would go back and forth, maybe almost like pen pals of writing, and I've met amazing people that I still keep in contact with today. But writing has definitely been an outlet for me to reach where I am today with writing the play.
That's great. That really is. I know for a lot of people, writing is very cathartic. It's very helpful for your mental state, for just your whole mindset, your spirituality. So saying that when you started writing and you started realizing that you really had a gift for this, is there any change in you that kind of occurred? Like maybe getting to know yourself a little better, understanding who you are and your truth, your beliefs a little more?
Yeah, I personally use writing as an outlet to, get my emotions out, or things that maybe I'm afraid to say, because when I was younger, I was hiding behind a paper, and I could slap a name on it and it couldn't be me. And so I used that outlet just to write things that maybe I believe that maybe the next person didn't, or I had strong beliefs on something. So writing is really like a therapeutic route for me, and I get my word and my voice out by my writing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do that. I know journaling is a big thing. I used to consider myself to be a great writer when I was younger as well. I have diaries from when I was 15 years old, and I think I wouldn't call it a diary anymore, it's just a journal, but I still keep them till this very day, and it's just a way for me to release exactly what you said, your voice, your mind, your feelings, your emotions, and hopefully, you connect with others that you're able to share that with, which I have, so that's really good. I'm glad that you're learning this at like an early age, it's really, really important, and I guess the pandemic, caused a lot of the youth to have to grow up quicker than they would have preferred, so to speak. So now you're in high school. Tell us a little about high school, Imani.
Well, I have, at least in the pandemic, I wasn't the person that was sleeping. I was definitely on top of my classes, which gave me the opportunity to be in all honors classes. So even coming out of the pandemic, 9th grade, I was already in AP classes. I started with AP Human Geography, and it just went amplified from there. So it was definitely like a 180 of what I was doing in the pandemic, but it was just in person now. Now that I'm a junior, I can definitely say the rumors about being a junior, the toughest time of your year, it is 100% correct. But, I am taking this as an experience. This is what I'm going to be doing in college. I realize that this is what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of years. I might as well embrace it. I might as well enjoy it. But, the classes are definitely not the easiest. I definitely have to take away some times from my social life to double down and really focus on, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I have to do, deadlines I have to meet. I have a paper that's due, I have a lot, but everything will come in due time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm reading that you're part of every society. You're part of every group, part of every debate team, and all types of research, sciences, and academic just excellence. So I can imagine how exhausted you must actually be. And I asked her this question. She's always on. How do you maintain that light then, that energy, that fire that you need to complete all of these tasks? Stay present while you're doing it and also excel.
Yeah, I always ask myself, why am I doing this? For what? Like, what am I doing this for? And I always remind myself the end goal. Because if I don't put in the work in now, what I want my outcome to be may not be to what extent I want it to be. I wake up knowing I wanted to go to Columbia University. I know what I have to do. I know what steps and factors I have to take. You know, trying to get into an Ivy League school with, you know, being a minority, it is really hard now that affirmative action is not a thing anymore. I have to wake up and remind myself the harsh reality of what I'm living through.
Yes.
And I just keep on pushing, knowing that I have the motivation of my parents, the motivation of my friends, my teachers, that I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Got a question?
Well, is there like is there like a mantra or like something that you follow to like keep you moving and keep you pushing forward?
Yeah, I have quite recently that I'm not set in stone. I am capable of change. If I don't like something, I can change it.
Yeah.
I am not the person I am yesterday. I'm not the person I was years ago. I am someone I can be molded. I can be molded into something that I want to. If I manifest it into the universe, I will become what I want to be.
I love that. You are amazing. Are you sure you're only 16 years old? I need to know where this is coming from. I know you mentioned 16 from Elmont. Tell me about your parents and your upbringing. I need to understand who has been instilling this confidence in you and this just, to me, spirituality inside of you. Where do you get it from? And yeah, tell me. I want to get it.
All props goes to my mother. And not even my mother, my both parents, they are amazing. I would have been here without them. The motivation that I have is just in the support and the love, even after all the tears, the trials and tribulations that I have been going through. Like, they have been my stepping stone every step of the way, even since I was little. I wanted to be a paleontologist, which was dinosaurs when I was little, and my mom was okay with it. She's such a supportive mother, no matter what I do or what could have happened. Not even my mother, my both parents are just amazing. I wouldn't have had the motivation. There's times I wanted to give up. There's times where I didn't think I had the capability of being in these AP classes, of my biology class that I was struggling with. You know, my mother sat me down and talked to, like, if you want to do this, you can. Yeah. And like that, I got back on top of my classes. Everything that I've been doing since now, I couldn't have done without them.
Yeah, I love that. I love when parents support, you know, our dreams and not theirs, you know? Yeah. And she just wants you to fly and just be everything that you want to be. And apparently you're taking on, you know, so much because you are capable of handling it. How difficult is it getting for you, though? I mean, you're now a junior, and I know it can get easier the end of your, I mean, yeah, it's going to get easier. You're a junior, not a sophomore. So this is technically your last year of going hard. So have you burnt out at all? Have you had that moment that, you know, I don't think I can do this? And
yeah, definitely this year have pushed my mental limits. And it's only now the third marking period, and I have a lot of stress and thinking that I just can't do this. You know, unfortunately for me, like in my 9th, my 10th, even 8th, 7th, it was fine. I was a perfect A student. This year has really showed me that I have to put in the work in order to achieve what I want. These classes that I'm taking is no joke. Yeah. I am a high school taking college classes. I'm taking AP classes. I am taking at least 5 AP classes, I believe, and I am writing a research paper for a second diploma before I graduate. I'm going to be taking an Italian class for the seal of biliteracy. It is a lot, and I have almost given up. I can't count how much times, but I always have to remind myself that this is what I want to do, and I throw up. I always have to remind myself, you know, one bad grade is not, the world is not going to end. one bad grade or, one slip up, yes, it's going to be detrimental, but that's not the end of the world. I can change that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I love that sort of mentality, because that's important to have for you to stay sane, that you're not putting so much on you, and all the expectations of others as well as yourself, and use it to whereas it's going to harm you instead of help you. So I'm glad that you have that mindset. That is really amazing. So now on this journey, this new journey that you're taking in terms of writing, producing, directing, and then your goal of being a neurosurgeon. How do you feel about those paths? Do you ever feel like they're going to cross at one point?
I have a lot of people who have been telling me like writing is something that I can definitely take on like as a career. My mother has said that write a book, write a play, you can screenwrite, you can produce, you have that gift. And if you just apply your mind to it, you can do it. I also have really, really high passion in neurology, but science in general. And, even though I might see it as a hobby, like, again, whatever God has instilled for me, whatever plan he has for me, I'm going to take it. Maybe if neurology isn't, maybe I'm just thinking it right now and writing is my real calling. I know I have the capability to do it.
Yeah, well, I think you have the ability to do just about anything you put your mind to, my friend. So I don't know if, your career path is going to change, but I know that whatever you choose, you're going to excel at. So you wrote a play.
Yes.
It's for your high school Black History Month celebration. Tell us a little about that, because I'm truly impressed.
Right. So I started writing the play just right about school, so like maybe August, September. At first, it was actually about, I forgot what it's about, but currently, what I wrote was two best friends. They grew up at a predominantly white institution, and they got accepted into Howard, one of the most well-known HBCUs to date. When they got accepted, they were facing people or peers around their age that didn't actually claim them in the HBCU because they were too white. And I wrote this because from personal experience, saying that maybe my mannerisms are too white, maybe what I do, what I say, my interests are white, and I realized that, yes, there are certain factors that, could defer a specific ethnic race, but you cannot act one. You can't define something just by their race, because that is just playing into racial stereotypical views that we may not have seen or like bypass just along the way, especially as teenagers. We take, you're being too black or you're being too white or being some type of race as a joke. But, as you grow up, like it's the impact on like what we're facing, the modern day oppression that we are still as a community are trying to fight, but we're not really doing anything to do about it.
Yeah, I totally get it. Go ahead.
I have a question. Have you ever been racially stereotyped or be or have ever been told that you were being too white or too black, and how did you deal with it?
Definitely, especially with music. My music taste, it's not, not for everyone. I'm an average country fan that, you typically wouldn't see a person of color listen to. I like jazz, I like, The Cure, all these artists that, may not be your mainstream, rap or hip hop that you will connect African Americans to. Yes. And also how I speak. When people over the phone, they were oh yeah, you articulate your words very well, or they didn't think I was black. And I'm like, okay, I really like to take that with a grain of salt. I don't really feed into those, or I try not to feed into those stereotypes, but I just know that because I excel in something, they may not think that I'm African American and that I'm black, and it's I, as a black woman, I am capable of doing anything the next race can. And because we're a minority group, they think that we do not have the factors to be a doctor. We can't speak like how they speak. We can't be at these tables and have a conversation of intelligence. We can't articulate, or we can't like defer what they're trying to say.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I totally relate to everything that you're saying, because I also experienced that when I was growing up, and especially in junior high school, because of the things that I enjoyed. I am also one that has a vast, love for different types of music, different types of culture, different types of authors and writers, and it was to the point where I was being told that I'm acting white because I spoke a certain way, because I dressed a certain way, because I listened to Cyndi Lauper instead of, whoever else was out, or hip hop music at the time. I love those things as well. I say that my music is eclectic, I like to try and listen to everything. I connect to the music rather than the artist, so to speak. But then when it came down to me loving school and enjoying to reading and things like that, I would be also told that I'm trying to be white. So I think that is really derogatory. I really feel that is wrong and disparaging for anyone to address a Black person, telling them that they're attempting or trying to be something other than what they are. But why do you think that is so? Why do you think that people have that idea, that thought, or that belief that just because I feel you strive for more, that you're acting white?
Yeah, at least in my peer group, my community of 16, 17, 18, I feel like we already have this notion that in order to be some successful figure, you have to either be white, because honestly, being Black, there's a lot of oppression that we go through. And these stereotypical views and these factors that we go through, that maybe we are low income, we're only middle class, we can't afford to have this high education, we can't do the things that, country club or like tennis, or things that, will be catered to some people of a different race, that we just don't hone the factors to do it because we don't have the intelligence for it.
Right.
So when you see a Black person striving for what they want in Black excellence, it's like, well, how did they get there? They can't get there because it is more so catered to people of whites or browns, or someone who isn't a minority group per se.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. And it happens in really all kinds of cultures. It's not just the Black person trying to act white. It could be, someone who's Asian or Haitian or whatever. It could be any different nationalities and cultures that will still be told that, strictly because of the fact that they are considered the minority, and how you are now striving to speak a certain way or think a certain way or try to educate yourself a certain way. It means that you're trying to be a Caucasian person. You're trying to get into their space. It's so unfortunate. I'm so sorry that this is still going on, because again, when I was younger, I thought it was kind of different. We are Black people that want to excel. We have people in our family that are actually creating the path for us now. They're opening up the doors for everyone to go to college. When I was, younger, that wasn't necessarily the norm. So knowing that you're now this Black student, you're not in a school that's primarily white, right?
No,
You're
not.
very diverse. So
Yes.
did you have these issues within your own school?
Yes, a lot.
Wow.
We are, El Memorial High School is predominantly colored people. But, instead of being too white, it's either, oh, you're acting too Black, or you're trying to be white, because Elmont's amazing school academically.
Yes.
We have, where I'm at, my class of 2025 is very competitive. We have a lot of competitive people, for valedictorian, salutatorian, but just a competitive class in general. And we're grouped in with, a lot of high schools that are also doing well. And because of that, especially in sports, you would see like, oh, we're trying to either too black or we're either too white. There's really no in between. And if it's not like rivalry in schools or like friends of friends, it's just like we just say the term as if it's not, as it's okay.
Yeah, and it's not. It's not okay. They did a whole study on this acting white theory, and it was the idea that African American kids underachieve academically because they and their peers associated being smart with acting white. So I know that you're in a lot of AP classes, and you take on a lot of responsibility academically, staying on the high honor roll, and being in these research labs and aspiring to be a neurosurgeon. Do you think that has your aspirations, your dreams, the way that you look at your goals has anything to do with that stereotype?
I personally don't think so. When I say that, I mean, I know what I want to do. My color doesn't have a definition of what I'm destined to be. If I wanted to be a neurosurgeon, if I wanted to be a cardiologist, doesn't matter my color. If I have the intelligence, the drive, and the motivation to do it, I can do it. Is the medical field saturated with Caucasian people? Of course. Will that make it difficult and harder for me to be placed in that table, in that rings, just because of my color? Absolutely, and I'm 100% aware of that. And there's nothing I could do but just to know my motivation, and I can get there no matter what color, what I define as. I can get there, and if I have the motivation to do it, then I am 100% certain that I can be at that table. I can stay. Doesn't matter if I articulate my words, if I use slang, if I use AAV, I could do it if I had the motivation to.
You got a question?
Well, if it weren't to be for like writing that has pushing you forward and the support of your family, and would there be anything else that has just like motivated you and to like keep you in the moment and to just move forward?
Mostly my family has just been my support system. I really don't believe that, without them I would be to where I was. But, 2 years ago, my number one motivation, my little brother, I basically do everything for him. I would not, I would have given up, My brother, I love him to death. He may be a tad bit annoying. He may destroy my things from time to time. But,
As they do.
My mother has definitely instilled that, you have to make it easier for the generations behind you. My brother, he's only 2. We do have a 12-year age gap. And, my motivation, if not for my mom, is to make my little brother have even a better life than mine.
I love that. I love that. With the limitations that exist and those rooms that you say that you can get into, but the fact that sometimes they're not as easily opened as they should. What advice would you have? I mean, there's something that's keeping you going and motivated and striving for that excellence. But what advice would you give to sort of the average kid that is aspiring to get into what you're doing right now?
Yes, color does, is prominent, but it doesn't define your destiny. If you have the support system and if you know your passion from now, or even if you don't know your passion, but you want to be great, you want to be the next Oprah Winfrey or the next Michelle Obama, you have that. You can. Nothing, you are not a set in stone. You have the viability to change. You are not the same person you were. If you can get up in the morning and ask yourself, what am I doing here? What can I do to make this day mine? If you can seize the day, then anything you can put your mind to, you can do it.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. So this play, I love the premise of it. How was it developing it? I know, you wrote it was from the heart because it was something that you experienced and you kind of wanted to change the narrative, I guess, through that story. How was the production of it and the directing and actually, getting the kids in your school involved? How was that process?
It was because, unfortunately, I was the only person. It was a little bit stressful, having acting and also having audio and doing stage crew and directing stage crew and directing the act at the same time. And because they're my peers, I unfortunately don't have the respect as, a older person would in our school. But at the end of the day, like, we all voluntarily did this because we want to send out a message.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing performance. Further along, I had help with the music department and, a senior that helped me. The person who actually gave me the play, Jada Griffin, she helped me along the way. She came down to see me, gave me little pointers. But at the end of the day, we all wanted to be there to send a message to Elmont Memorial High School on how we want to impact Black History Month this year.
I love that. And how do you feel about, Black History Month and us just, sharing these types of stories and how significant it is, for, like you mentioned, the younger generation to see, that you're sharing this at this time and how it could affect them in the future?
Yeah, history is always occurring. Every day we make history. It's really how much we leave an impact on it. If we forget where we came from, if we forget what, trials and tribulations, the hardships we went through, we are not going to succeed. We're not going to, break these barriers. And if we don't recognize where we came from, how we came from, and what impact it did from us, decades, centuries ago, we can't move on from 100 years from now.
Yeah, I love it. The message that your play, and what was the name of the play, by the way?
Yeah, my play was called Black Shines.
Black Shine, I love that. So that was my next question, the message. What is the message behind Black Shine?
When I was coming up with the name, I wanted to highlight that because of Black History Month, that after Black, we shine, we radiate,
Yes.
we are melanated, like, we are just a shining star. And I wanted to emphasize that it doesn't matter if you're Black, if you're a minority group, we have the capability to shine. We are the sun. We are everything that's revolving around it. I wanted to emphasize that it doesn't matter how you came up, how you've been brought up, no matter the income, higher education, lower education, that if you have something, if you want to do something, you can rise from it because we do shine.
Yes. Let your light shine. That was the message today. Literally, to let your light shine. And you are doing it so brightly and amazingly. And I love it. I love it. So now, what is your next goal, in the field of writing? You've accomplished this, which was
Yes.
amazing. And I think we have a picture of the group, your team, from the play. And look at all of those people, those youth that are supporting you. And you're sitting in the front. What is the new, next, and now for the beautiful Imani?
I am definitely, now that it really settled in me that, I really wrote this play myself. I done this myself. I know that I have the capability of doing something that I never imagined myself doing. I'm definitely going to continue to write my play for next year, but I'm going to also find someone who are in the lower grade that I can give my light to, that I can, who has the passion for writing, who may not think that they're good enough for it, to take them under my wing and really help them as well, because even though I may have the capabilities of doing it, what good is it if I can't share it with others?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Any other socially conscious topic that wanting to kind of tackle, or just a space that you kind of want to get in that is helpful to others, something that maybe you've experienced, especially now at the youth? I know mental health is a big issue now with our young adults. So is there any other socially conscious endeavor or advocacy you feel you'll be doing soon?
I definitely, especially in writing, I definitely want to tackle feeling inferior to different races. you know, when you walk into a room and maybe you're the only black person, only colored person, you may feel, you know, out of place. Like when I was at Columbia yesterday, you know, I was the only black female there. Wow. I was the only one aside from my parents. We were like, I felt a bit, you know, wow, like I don't see anyone that looks like me here. And that is, you know, the harsh reality that even though you may not be like, or the only person in the room that looks different, you are still shining. Like, you just have to get over that feeling of inferiority and concept of superiority, because at the end of the day, we are all the same people trying to get into the same college, trying to get into the same goals that we have. And pertaining to your color, it's just the more you think about, well, I can't do this because, you know, there's, you know, Asians, there's whites, there's people who, you know, we deem as the smarter ones, we're only holding ourselves back. We're not letting us do what we can to our full potential.
Yeah. What people need to start realizing is that you're already in the room. You've opened the door. So your color should not matter. Is what you're coming in there with, the knowledge that you're coming in there with, the motivation and the drive for you to succeed at whatever you put your mind to. That should be actually represented front and center. And I think that that's probably what was represented yesterday. When you went to Columbia and you did have like that moment of, oh wow.
Yeah, when I first got in, when we were like in the guide, to register that we were there, like we were like maybe not one of the first people there, but when it got more crowded, I was like, well, is there anyone else that looks like me here? It's like every time I see another family, it's just like, no, I was the only like person. And when I went on campus and like we were touring, like there was few people who looked like me, and it was like, this is what I'm going against with. And even though I may not, you know, see myself here a lot in like retrospect of like, you know, Black Americans, I am still here.
Yes.
Because I'm on this campus and because I want to go here. That is already the first step into breaking this. I'm already in Columbia University touring.
You're
signed
qualified.
up myself. I'm here.
Yes, you are qualified, my friend. Did you connect with anyone while you were there? Because I'm usually the only person of color, you know, in a group of Caucasians as well. And I have no problem with it. They start to look like me after a while. And once, you know, I become and just give them the LaShawn experience, I don't think that they see me any differently. I could be mistaken. I've heard of microaggressions and all that. I don't personally think I've ever experienced it. But did you find it easy, or did you even connect with anyone there, maybe a peer?
Fortunately for me, I have a senior who just graduated. He got a full ride to Columbia. His name is Preston. I like called him up. I was like, hey, like, are you here? I know you have classes. He was like, yeah, I'll be down in like 25 minutes. He showed me around, but I didn't connect with anyone. My parents actually connected me with this young lady who goes there. And I guess they were lost and they were like, hey, can you help us out? And in the midst, they like connected me with this wonderful young lady. I have her contacts now.
Nice.
So it was a fun experience, but I didn't really get to connect with people there other than someone I already knew there that I got like a little bit, like I went to the dining hall, that's when you called me. I was eating, like I seen my friend just like catched up, and yeah.
You ready for this experience, this college experience?
I am ready, not ready. I've been in the same school since 7th grade, you know. It's ready to go. It's like my time to go, but like, you know, it's going to be like a really big transition.
Yeah. I think you're prepared. I really, really do. Well, we have a quick video before we go from the end of the night of your play, your debut of Black Shine. Let's show it real quick. It's very short.
I wanted to highlight this because from personal experience with being too white or speaking white, dressing white, having a white music taste, people take negative stereotypes from races and making labels that bring us down, and how we can affect peers.
I want to know how you felt at the culmination of your hard work. How did you feel at that moment while you were giving that speech?
I was on top of the world. Like, it didn't really settle into me that like I am putting on a play for my school until I walked out and I've seen the vast amount of people there to support me. It was like, wow. Like, it was just amazing. I've never thought that I can have that much of a following behind my work.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's extraordinary. I'm so sad that I missed it. If you have a whole video of it or something that I
Yeah,
can watch,
definitely.
please send it to me. Do you have any questions? Any more questions for our beautiful Imani before we go?
Well, I'm really proud of you, and
Thank you.
it's such an experience to see that you've been able to accomplish so much by just following your goals. And I'm really moved by how much you've got into, and I feel like you might just be an inspiration to me.
Thank you.
And I feel like I've learned so much from you already.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, again, the students and the teachers always switch at one point in life. So you are now the teacher to the student, because I love your resilience. I love the fact that you are so goal oriented. I love that you have this amazing light in you, and you're sharing it not just with your family members and your friends, but your school, your community, which I think is so important. The story that you told is not only real, but can resonate with so many others, and I'm glad that you were able to share it with them. You are really, really amazing. Tell me, what would you like to leave the viewers with? I usually ask, like, what is your, Imani's, contribution to the world going to be? But I'm going to just let you tell me what you want to share.
You know, with motivation, with support, with people to back you up on anything you want to do, you can accomplish anything. I have went through being a journalist, to a paleontologist, to a plastic surgeon, to any job career that, you know, offered anything, I have been through. But, you know, with the support and just knowing that I can do this because I have the just confidence, you know, because without the confidence, without, you know, having that self-love, you can't really accomplish anything. You just need to believe in yourself, because even if you don't have any support, it is within you.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to go out there and get it. Let it shine. It's already burning in you. I really do believe. I think just a lot of people do need encouragement. A lot of people need to have support, and a lot of people need confidence. Those are the three things that you have. So it's also sharing that with people that don't. It's unfortunate a lot of family members, you know, are not there for their children. So just you being a student in that school, or maybe interacting with a child that does not have that, should definitely inspire them. So continue, please, to let that light shine, my friend. Let it shine. Well, we are going to get real quick to the Dare to Be You. And it is simple. You possess a unique inner radiance, a special brilliance that sets you apart. Allow that light within you to illuminate the world. Don't allow anyone to diminish its glow. And that's exactly what this beautiful young lady, as well as Celine Ferdinand, my queen, has shared today, is to just keep that light shining. Don't let anything or anyone dim it. I'd like to thank you so much for being here. You are amazing. I'm sure there's so much more going on that's coming up for you. What are you most looking forward to, you know, when you graduate?
Really right now, like SATs. After that, like, I just really want to have that college experience, you know, to have, you know, friend groups, to have that social freedom, but also knowing that, you know, this is the time of my life where I'm going to be pursuing what I really want to do, because I have this burning passion for neurology. I'm always trying to, you know, find the next step, whether it be in the research lab or something. I'm just really excited to actually have hands-on experience with something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you just keep that burning, my friend. Don't let anything, you know, distract you. Please, please, don't overwhelm yourself as well. You don't want to get burnt out. I was just burnt out. I didn't want to do anything, and I just came to life this past weekend. So don't let it get to that point. No long draws of just weight on you to accomplish and to exceed, to succeed, because it's going to happen. You've already got it within your DNA. You know what I mean? Well, guys, I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Your Our Unity. I'd like to thank my beautiful co-host, Miss Queen Celine, for being here as well, and our amazing guest, Imani Lyons. Please look out for her. I'm telling you, she's either going to be your surgeon or she's going to be the next TV show that we're watching on television. I want to thank you again for being here. Please tune in next week to Your Our Unity, and remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. So let's go out there and be some love, give some love, and share some love. I'll see you next week. We love you. Have a good night.